Hi! So this video is really different to my normal videos. I just want to sit down and talk with the camera about things that I've been doing in my extracurriculum life that will help me with nursing in the future. So I've been doing things like I've recently become a St. John's Ambulance first aider, and I think this is the main thing I want to talk about today. One sec. So I think this is the main thing I want to talk about today, because I didn't really think this would help me that much before I went into the whole process. And I think the more I think about it and the more I think about, yes, it did take time to complete the training and everything like that, but I think it will definitely be worth it in the future. So for anyone who doesn't know, St. John's Ambulance is a volunteer organisation that is mainly run by volunteers here in the UK, but it's all across the world as well. So to events such as concerts and football matches, marathons, stuff like that. And the first aiders, so my job I'm just going to talk about, is to go there and to be kind of the first responders almost to accidents that happen. And we obviously as first aiders have quite basic skills, but still a lot of skills that we can use and help people when they get hurt. So going into it, I knew that it would help my nursing career and like my nursing future and everything. But after doing the course and getting my qualification as such, I think it will actually help me so much more in the future than I ever realised, which is really good and I'm really happy about. So I'm just going to tell you kind of the process of it. So I started St. John Ambulance. It's not John's, it's John. St. John Ambulance with my university. So I started going to First Aid Society. I didn't go that much, to be honest, because it was at the exact same time that I finished placement, and it was during placement the majority of it. So I didn't go that much. But from there I got the idea of, instead of just doing the First Aid Society and learning first aid, how about I actually get qualification in this. So me and my friend Rosie decided that we'd become first aiders of St. John Ambulance. So the process, not gonna lie, was not the easiest, as in I think we were probably to blame for a lot of it because we were quite like slow getting forms back and stuff, but it still took a good few months from deciding we wanted to be a first aider to being fully fledged with our uniform. And so from deciding we wanted to be a first aider, we then applied like through this First Aid Society, and they were kind of wanting people to go through them to become a first aider. So we all went after First Aid Society class and we said, 20 of us wanted to do it, let's say. And then from there, that was our university, they call it University Links group. So from there, that was our little group. And then we then went to a thing called like an open day, which is, a welcome evening, which is basically where we got to find out more about that. And then you had to turn up to the welcome evening, and then from there you were offered a interview date, and you went to the interview, you did the interview, and then from the interview, if you got through the interview, then you went on to the 4-day course. So we did ours over 2 weekends, and it was quite intense. It was from about 9 a.m. until about 4:30. On the 4th day we had our examination, and this is when the higher people up in St. John Ambulance decided whether we were good enough to pass this exam to then become first aiders. This exam included, it was quite a while ago, so it included a CPR exam and then also a situational exam. So for instance, in my situational exam, I was in a room with 2 other examiners, and the situation was that somebody had an anaphylactic reaction. One of the examiners was actually not an examiner, but like a patient. They could have been an examiner. Anyway, they were our patient, and in my case, the patient had an anaphylactic reaction to eggs. So then I had to do the various different steps without missing out any, and then we got marked on that. And from that, we either passed or failed, and the same with the CPR. And the CPR, we had to do CPR for 3 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is quite a lot in the moment. And then from there we decided they decided if we got in or didn't. So luckily I passed, and then from there then there was the process of getting the uniform and yourself out onto the field and doing events. So I got my uniform only quite recently, and then from there I'll be able to go to events such as the London Marathon, the Brighton Marathon, lots of different events that will be really great for me. Not just for like the social aspect, but also I'm actually going to learn a lot that I'll be able to bring forward into my nursing. And I feel like a lot of people don't know about St. John Ambulance and first aid and things like that, but I think it will definitely be a huge help for me in the future. So I'm just saying this to anyone that wants to become a first aider, because we definitely need more and more of them. I also think it'll be incredible for a CV, and I know everything's not about how things look on a CV, but I think that will definitely be a huge factor in the future. Going for jobs, I think they're more likely to pick somebody with extra curriculum, and it doesn't have to be first aid obviously, but something like that. And I just want to touch on how it compares to nursing. Obviously it's very different, and I think nursing's definitely more biology based and more research based, while St. John Ambulance, and not just St. John in particular but first aid in general, is a lot more practical, obviously, because you're there actually treating people. So it's less about the biology and the anatomy and more just about, do you know how to treat someone? And for instance, when I was doing my course to become a first aider, there was a medic, and I was the only student nurse, and there was a medic, and he was saying to me, he was like, we don't learn any of this in medicine. He was like, I don't know how to do like the most basic thing. Like he didn't know how to like dress an arm or like dress a head injury or anything like that. And he was like, we don't learn any practical skills in medicine. And I think that's something I completely agree with. We don't learn enough. Like, yes, we do manual handling and like vital like observations, and we have simulation in our uni, but only once a year. And obviously you learn a lot of practical on placement, and that's where you're meant to learn the practical. But I still think we should learn a lot more of actually day-to-day useful things. And I know we're not training to be first aiders in nursing, but I think it would definitely help us in the future. So that's just my little rant about first aid and nursing. And just the whole thing about this is just doing something extra curriculum that will help your nursing but also help your CV. And yeah, that's basically all what I have to say. Bit of a rant, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you're new here and haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.